The month you retire can cost you or save you between $20,000 and $60,000 in just 1 year. Not over your whole retirement, just the year you stop working. Here's the surprising part. When you retire, the system doesn't look at what you're earning now. It looks at what you earned earlier in that same year. So even after you stop working, your past income is still being counted, and it can push you into higher taxes, higher costs, and bigger bills. Most people don't know this. They pick a retirement date based on age, or when work slows down, or when it feels right. But that's not what actually matters, because the system only cares about one thing: how much total income you have by the end of the year. And that number changes depending on one simple decision: the month you retire. Here's where most people get this completely wrong. They don't think in months, they think in moments. They say things like, "I'll retire next spring," or "I'll retire when I turn 65," or maybe at the end of the year. It sounds reasonable, it feels natural, but that's not how the system works. You're thinking about timing in a general way. The system is looking at exact numbers. You're making an emotional decision. The system is making a mathematical calculation. And those two don't match. Because while you're planning a date, the system is taking a full snapshot of your income and using that to decide how much you pay. Now here's the simplest way to understand how this works. Every year, the system takes one snapshot of your income, just one. It doesn't matter what happened month by month. It doesn't matter when you stopped working. At the end of the year, everything gets added together into one total. Your salary, your pension, any bonus, money you take from your savings, even your Social Security if you start it. All of it goes into one number, and that number is what decides how much you pay. So think about this. If you retire late in the year, that snapshot is full. You've already earned most of your salary, and now you're adding retirement income on top. But if you retire early in the year, that snapshot is much smaller. You have space, you have control. Same person, same money, different timing. That's the difference. And here's the part most people get backwards. They worry about the market. They think, what if the market drops right after I retire? Or should I wait for a better time? That feels like the big risk, but it's not. The market isn't your biggest problem here. Your income timing is. Because the market is something you can't control. But when your income shows up, that's completely in your control. And that's where most of the damage happens. Let's break that down. The year you retire is not a normal year. It's a mix, part working, part retired. And that creates a problem, because now you have multiple sources of income all hitting at the same time. Your salary from the months you worked, your pension starting, money you withdraw to live on, maybe a bonus, maybe unused leave paid out. Everything stacks together. And when it stacks, your total income jumps higher than expected. That's what pushes you into higher tax brackets, not because you earned more, but because everything landed in the same year.
Now compare two simple situations. In one case, you retire early. Your salary is low for that year. Your retirement income fills in the rest. Your total stays manageable. In the other case, you retire late. You already have a full year of salary, and then you add everything else on top. Same income sources, same life, but now your total is much higher, and your taxes go up. You didn't earn more, you just stacked it differently. Now, there's another layer most people don't see: Social Security. A lot of people assume it's either taxed or not taxed, but that's not how it works. There's a formula. And that formula looks at your total income. If your income is low, you pay little or no tax on Social Security. If your income is higher, more of it becomes taxable. So when your retirement year gets crowded, more of your benefit gets pulled into taxes. Same benefit, different tax outcome, just because of timing. And then there's something even more delayed: Medicare. Your Medicare premiums are not based on what you earn now. They're based on what you earned 2 years ago. So the income from your retirement year, that crowded snapshot, it can come back later and increase your monthly premiums, even though you're no longer earning that money. That's the frustrating part. You're paying more for income you don't even have anymore. And most people never connect these two things. Now let's talk about what you lose, not just what you pay. When you retire, especially early in the year, there's a period where your income is very low, lower than it's been in years. That's an opportunity. Because during that time, you can move money around at lower tax rates. Think of it like a window, a small period where you have more control than usual. But if your retirement year is already full of income, that window is gone, or at least much smaller. Now, doing the same move costs you more in taxes. So it's not just about paying extra, it's about losing the chance to save later. Now let's make this real. Take one person, same job, same salary, same retirement plan. In one case, they retire in October. In the other, they retire in January. In October, they've already earned most of their salary. Then they add pension income, then withdrawals. Everything stacks. Their total income is higher, their taxes are higher, their flexibility is lower. In January, it's different. Very little salary, plenty of space. They stay in lower tax brackets. They have room to make smarter moves. They avoid extra costs later. Same person, same money, completely different outcome, all because of timing. If you zoom out, this usually shows up in three ways. First, you pay more taxes right away because your income stacks. Second, you may pay higher Medicare costs later because of that same year. And third, you lose the best chance to take advantage of low-income years. You might hit one of these, you might hit all three, and when they stack together, the total cost gets bigger than most people expect. So what should you actually do with this? First, compare two simple options: your current plan and an early year retirement. Look at how much income shows up in each case. Second, check where that puts you. What tax bracket? What thresholds? Third, protect that low income period, because that's where the real advantage is. And here's the bottom line. This isn't really about when you feel ready. It's about what ends up in the system. Because the calendar looks simple, but it isn't. And once that snapshot is taken, you can't change it. The photograph doesn't lie.